I have two of my guests who are here. Kweku Bako is around because his documents have arrived. And then we have another guest who should join us. So we'll start and wait for them to join us in due course. Now, my guests right now in the studio and ready to do justice for the issues that we are going to look at this morning are Madam Esla Osu Ekufo. She is the Communications Minister and MP, Ablekuma North.
West.
Ablekuma West, yes, I keep getting that wrong. Ablekuma West. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been a long time. Yeah.
It has indeed. I missed you.
We are happy to have you. Thank you. And also in the studio is Dr. Eric Odro Sai. Of course, he is a governance person and always interesting to hear on the show. Good morning and welcome, Doc.
Good morning.
Kweku Bako is getting ready to take his seat. His documents have already taken lead, and you can see them on the desk here. And I'll introduce our final guest to you as well. Now, let's take a look at this and listen to this.
Kwesi Amissah-Arthur, born April 29, 1951, was an economist, academic, and politician who was the 6th Vice President of Ghana, in office from August 6, 2012 until January 7, 2017, under President John Dramani Mahama. Previously, he was Governor of the Bank of Ghana from 2009 to 2012. He was sworn in as Vice President on August 6, 2012, following vetting by Parliament, a week after Mahama himself was sworn in. This followed the sudden death of John Atameos on July 24, 2012. Kwesi Amissah-Arthur was a research assistant at the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research between 1974 and 1975. He later joined the Economics Department as a teaching assistant from 1977 to 1978, going on to become an assistant lecturer in 1979. He lectured at the Department of Economics at the University of Ghana between 1980 and 1988. He had also been a lecturer at the Department of Economics, Anambra State College of Education, Awka, Anambra State, Nigeria, from August 1981 to July 1983. He went into politics until 1997. He worked as a consultant for the World Bank in the Gambia. He also served as a consultant for the Netherlands Government Education Project in Ghana.
Right. So the unfortunate news was broken yesterday in the morning, and all we know so far is that the former vice president had gone to the gym, and the Air Force gym here in Accra. Unfortunately, during a workout, and something happened. He collapsed. He collapsed, and then the results is what we have now been informed of. He died at the age of 67, and the tributes have been pouring in. We will take a listen at some of the tributes and then come back to the studio and hear from my guests in the studio what they also have to say about the former vice president. Of course, Kweku Bako has joined us now, and Roxanne Nelson Dafamapo, Member of Parliament, also joining us now. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Right. Okay, so let's watch this.
He epitomized all that is finest, I think, in the fancies. He was a true gentleman, true gentleman. Fondest memories of when he was sworn in as Vice President of our country. And personally, we were close, and it's been difficult.
Phone, and I saw so many missed calls from people who know I'm close to him. And then I called a few people and became evidence that it was true. And I still don't believe it. I'm still in a shock. I just left the wife We can only say God knows the best, and we hope he's in the hands of the Lord. And all of a sudden, one of the security people shouted, "Veep, Veep, Veep," and he fell down. The doctor who saw looked at him. They said he was fine. They took him to 37. All the doctors were ready for him. They did all the little tests they could do, and they said he will be fine. Half an hour later on, they came back and said he was gone.
It was a shock. I couldn't believe it, because I had spoken to him barely a week before I traveled. We sat together, relaxed. He didn't look like anybody who was. He had actually come from the office, and we sat for over an hour together with the force, and we were, discussing all manner of things, because we have had a very long relationship. Yeah, it's a loss to the nation, to the party, but to some of us, we've also lost, a very good friend.
I'm speechless. It's just such a deep shock. We're very close. He was my personal assistant. He was my deputy minister, and so we are very good friends. And we met very, very recently last week. I didn't see any hint whatsoever of any illness. Not at all. No, I mean, there was not even a hint of it. And then, like everybody else, early this morning, I heard news trending, and I very much hope that it was fake news, okay, until it was finally confirmed. I'm devastated. It's difficult to take. What can I say? He was a very, very fine man, a very decent, politician, and very humble, and, preferred the ways of the back room, effective participation in anything, unobtrusive. And some people sometimes misunderstood and mistook his humility and almost self-effacing manner to be some sign of, a lack of expertise or something. But I know him well enough to know he was a very fine economist, and was just such a very humble and decent person. It's a huge loss to the nation, and I personally feel totally devastated. It's just not believable.
All right, so Professor Kwesi Amissah-Arthur ending the tributes or comments that were recorded at the home of the former vice president yesterday in the morning. President Akufo-Addo said Kwesi Amissah-Arthur has been a long-standing public servant who discharged his duties with dignity. Ghana has lost a fine public servant. Former President Mahama wrote, "Shocking. No, PK was only last Saturday actively involved in our party's constituency elections in the central region. Very sad Friday." Vice President Dr. Baumia also wrote, "He dutifully served our nation. He was always civil and can be described as a first-class gentleman." I hope all of us can associate with that. And Mrs. Rebecca Akufo-Addo also noted that the news of the sudden death of the former Vice President of the Republic, His Excellency Kwesi Amissah-Arthur, has shocked and saddened me. His sudden demise is a big blow to our country. One of his aides, particularly when he was Vice President, James Ejenim Boateng, former Deputy Information Minister, wrote, "A big tree has fallen. A good man is gone. Sleep well, sir." Start with you, Roxanne. What do you have to say?
Well, we're all broken. I lost a close cousin last month in a similar manner.
Okay.
In fact, 2 months ago.
Yes, I remember.
So he was buried.
What's his name again?
Doji Amaklem.
Yes.
a serving immigration officer.
Right.
He had gone for jogging Sunday morning.
Right.
Had come back, taken his bath, and was dressing up. Then he also fell. And that was it. After about a few days, my brother died. And so, but this is equally shocking, you know, and considering that persons of that caliber have the best of medical care, you know, and so lights don't go off like that. It has to give a signal, you know, to the extent that it was in a gym. My understanding is that he had been taken through the first phase of, you know, what they call the body works, you know. So
it's a routine.
Yes, it's a routine first phase. Yeah, they've gone through the first phase, and then he collapses. He's lifted up. The initial signals were that he would be okay, and maybe it was because of the adrenaline and all that. Only for him to, for us to lose him. It's terrible. You know, I won't say much. I will just say that Alfred Tennyson once wrote, "Death be not proud. Death be not proud."
Right. I suspect very much Ursula will find the scriptural representation for that in the Bible, where it says that death should not boast because it has no victory at all.
Where is thy sting?
Yes. Now, what really saddened me a lot more was when we heard from Richard Kojonyako, who reports from the central region, that he had gone to his home and electricity was cut to the house so that the mom would be denied television and radio, so that she would not get to know about it until she was properly informed. How difficult can it be for people like her? Yes, Ursula.
To say that one has been shocked by this news is an understatement. And he, the former vice president, was my husband's classmate from one, and had known him very, very well. We're close friends as well. So he grew to become a personal friend as well. Just Monday, they were supposed to go to Cape Coast together. My husband couldn't go, but the rest of them went, and they were sharing the pictures. So when I heard the news and woke him up and told him, he says, no, it's not possible. And it's the things that one usually says at this time now become like mere platitudes. You know, you're literally lost for words. He did everything that one is advised to do. He kept fit, he took care of his health, he did everything. So ordinarily, one shouldn't just drop dead like that. You know, there must be a reason for it. But it just brings our own mortality home to us. The only moment we have is now, literally. You really don't know what tomorrow will bring. And that's what I've been grappling with since yesterday. It's been quite a traumatic week for me as well in terms of deaths. Two of the people that I work most closely with in the constituency have also died. One died on Thursday, and I heard about the news very late on Thursday night. Woke up to this one. A week ago, another one went of breast cancer. So I'm like, what is this? What's going on? And what can we do? We can only pray and hope that we do the things that we have to do when we have to do, and don't postpone too much. And we really do need to tell the people that we care about that we love them and we care about them. We may not have the chance to say, and those that we need to thank for all the things that they have done for us. Let's do it now. Let's not wait until they are gone before we eulogize them. And I've just been thinking, I have so many mothers and fathers that I haven't seen for a long time. And you need to make time to be with. It's devastating. And he's served his nation very well in all his many capacities, never lost a sense of humor. I remember how I used to heckle him during the budget hearings, and I sat quite close to them, and he could hear me, and he would just say, yes, sir, you know. Oh, we will miss him.
Right.
And he's the one who, when I graduated from Kofi Annan, he's the one who handed over my certificate to me, and he insisted that my husband should join him on the days because this was our day, and made a joke of it all, gave me a hug. I'll cherish the photographs that I have with him. I'll cherish the memories that we shared and the moments that we laughed together.
Right.
It's very distressing to be speaking about him in the past tense. And Auntie Matilda was my schoolmate as well. She went to Infantsiman. And just last week she launched her book, and he was there, and many of the old students were there as well. He was cracking jokes with us. We will miss him. May his soul rest in peace.
Doc.
Well, I think I'll say may his soul rest in perfect peace. We'll miss him as well. I have come into contact with him on several occasions, several platforms, but the one that comes very frequently in mind is my interaction with him at the Wesley Girls High School as a vice chair of the PTA. We had a challenge, and quickly he came in. He said, look, let us concentrate on the academic work of the students. The rest, those of us at the top will deal with it. And he promised giving us an assembly hall. He started, he delivered on his promise, you know. So he's a very passionate person. He brought dignity to bear on our political space. Nobody can doubt me that he is a gentleman when it comes to politics. In fact, I am not grown yet. I'm still growing, but with the current and contemporary politicians I've seen, he comes next to Professor Atamels when it comes to dignity in politics. Push him to the wall and he still stands on his ground and he'll be that gentleman that he is. You know, we've missed a lot, and I don't know the number of books he wrote, but if he did not write a book, we've missed a lot. And it tells us that we should be writing and document some of these best practices that can be learned by future generations.
Kogu.
Yeah, what else can I add to it? I mean, everything has been said. And he was a gentleman's gentleman, perfect gentleman, you know, a fancy with a perfect sense of humor. If you really got to know him, you see. And so it's sad that he's exited. We are in transit of a sort. So what we can do is to express our condolences to the immediate family, his friends, his party, and of course this is also of a national interest, so we are all mourning. I hope the state will do the appropriate thing when it comes to, you know, the final rights and things. So that's all I can say.
Good. Good Kweku started on a note that got particularly Esla and Roxanne manager smile. And we will leave it here and wish his family, particularly his family, we wish them God's guidance and fortitude in these times. And in due course, definitely we'll talk about, you know, him and what he stood for and the many roles that he played for this country, Ghana, as you can note from what President Akufo-Addo stated. And Dr. Bawumia, they gave a hint or state with some emphasis what he meant. And in fact, Akufo-Addo was hoping that he had a lot more to contribute to this country, and his life shouldn't have been cut at 67.